Every morning I get up to fill up my balls with big buckwheat pancakes and 5 whole eggs scrambled with butter.
Why do you think everyone who goes to a party does coke? I'm kind of joking with that. I don't think everyone that parties does coke. I just like to say that because he's going to Vegas, going to clubs. But yeah, most people don't do coke, even most people that party. Unless you're an adult. A lot of adults that consistently go out, they probably do coke. Because I mean, if you're going out to raves and all that as an adult consistently multiple times a week, I mean, it's likely that you're taking stuff. Most people that go to those things take stuff. Unless you just go out once a week with your friends and you like to drink every now and then. That's different. It depends on the scene that you're into. If you're big into clubs, you probably do stuff like that, right? That's sad as an adult. I think it is too. I think the whole rave scene as an adult, it's one thing if you just want to go out every once in a while, you want to go to a concert and you like listening to music. But it's another thing if you're part of the scene, man, and you're wearing the furry hats and you have the neon stuff, right? And you're doing this stuff. Yo, dude, look at my freaking gloves with lights on them, man. And you're doing coke and shit. Like, that's just so cringy. It's so cringy, dude. We're just being free, man. We're just being free. So what? We get drunk. So what? We smoke weed. We're just living young and wild and free. I don't go to clubs, but I do huge quantities of... I would never touch it, dude. I would never touch it. Never. Remember when Till said 80% of people... I do remember when he said that. That's just cope. That was literally just him coping with the fact that he does it. Or he's done it a few times and it's not that big of a deal. Other athletes do it all the time. Like, no, they don't. Most UFC fighters, I guarantee you, don't do it. That's just Darren Till coping with the fact that he was being lazy in the off seasons, getting fat, going out too much, acting like it was completely normal. Lucas 100% does coke, all major content creators. I don't really consider myself a major content creator, but I don't. I know that Jesse on Fire probably does some Adderall, but I've never ever done any of that shit. No, I don't take Adderall, dude. You're saying that like it's a statement. I do not take anything. I take coffee. I drink coffee. I've done pre-workout. I've never taken any upper like that. Nothing wrong with a bit of weed. I mean, I'm not a fan of it, dude. I'm not really into that stuff. I don't condone it. Thoughts on Zins? I don't know what they are. I'm assuming it's like a nicotine chewing gum. That's what they look like. I'm not addicted to nicotine, so yeah. I used to vape, but not anymore. I got off of it, quit it for good, cold turkey. Zins give you ED. I'm not surprised. I've heard that nicotine can give you ED. It gets in the way of blood flow, for sure. Nicotine as a pre-workout gets in the way of blood flow. It's a good nootropic, but gets in the way of other stuff. Can't lie, as a UK fan, I'm a caffeine addict, certified. Yeah, I feel that, man. But even on these, actually, I take that back. On these late nights where I have to make content, I usually do these days have a big cup of coffee when my stream is over for the pay-per-views. And I might not even sleep. Do you have cheat days? Not anymore. Not anymore. I'm not interested in cheat days. I don't recommend them at all. I think that's a surefire way to develop an eating problem. Or in general, it's just a surefire way to kind of fuck your metabolism up or condition your brain into always craving food as well. If you have these big cheat days, then throughout the week, you're just going to be looking forward to having your cheat day. I will need my cheat day, right? And then you'll go overboard, you'll binge on food, and you'll put on like 10 extra pounds because of how much you're eating. Because a lot of that is mental. The appetite is mental. You can be full, but you haven't satisfied your appetite. And I've had some gnarly cheat days back in the day where I would gain like 8 or 9 pounds. And it fucked me, man. It really did fuck me. Because I'd spend the whole rest of the week trying to just lose the weight that I gained from my cheat day. So, yeah, I don't recommend cheat days. Like, listen, if you're doing martial arts, if you're competing in MMA, or you're doing bodybuilding, if you're in any extreme sport to where you need to cut a lot of weight, I understand it. You're not going to have like the most sustainable diet. I get that. But if you're not competing in one of those sports, there's no need for anything like that. You should be on a sustainable diet to where the food that you're eating, you can eat it all year and be lean or gain muscle, gain size. Guru's on a cheat year. Dude, Guru did lose a lot of weight But he's been gaining a little bit of it back. But it's kind of easy to gain weight in the winter when you're not as excited about going outside and doing stuff, you know. Thoughts on Trans Day? Ooh, man. It's a shame. Okay, all right. It's an absolute. I can't say it, but you know what my thoughts are, brother. You know what my thoughts are. Okay. No bueno. Yeah, it's not real. I do not have a trans GF. Average white male opinion, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, buddy. It's just a typical take, man. Sure, bro. You guys are so lame, man. Why don't you just celebrate it, dude? Just accept it, man. Be a free spirit, man. Yeah, it's usually celebrated every day. Why does it matter? Exactly. That's basically like, it's just, they're just trying to disgrace us. Thoughts on Buckley's physique? He has a pretty crazy physique. He has a pretty insane physique, but he's a little bit too cartoonish. I don't think it looks that great, to be honest, but I will give him credit. It's pretty crazy. What are your thoughts on David Lade's physique? It's good. It's great, but you know, it's not got the most athletic look. But then again, I mean, maybe someone could have that type of physique and be athletic at the same time. I mean, obviously he has a good physique. I'm not necessarily as into the typical super wide shoulders, tiny waist anymore. I think it's it's just my physique would never look like that. You know what I mean? So I can't really say that that's the physique that I would aspire to. Like I used to get inspired by a lot of guys' physique like David Lade, Jeff Side, but if I can't look anything like that, then it just, you know, can't really inspire me that much. I'm more inspired by like Yoel Romero because I have like a very Yoel Romero type of physique structure, sort of athleticism. And when I think about the physique that I want, I'm thinking about, wait a second, it's more like Yoel, right? More like Arnold. You know what I mean? I think that David Lade just looks a little bit too, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. He kind of has like a very flamboyant-esque physique, but at the same time, that's just because of the look. You know, he's got like that flamboyant-esque look or whatever. But can't lie. I mean, obviously he has a great physique. He doesn't have that much muscle in his frame. Yeah, I'm just saying like the super small waist, it's kind of a feminine-esque look. You know what I mean? My ideal physique is like a more dense look, more dense, a more powerful look, you know? Of course, you know, if you were to ask women, I'm sure they would say he looks great, but that's not necessarily the physique that I would say is the best. Yeah, I want that Rogan look. I want the Rogan gut. The stubby guy with a gut with little twig arms, like the ref right here. Yeah, like the ref. He's got the epitome of a great physique because he's not too stubby. He's not too, you know, awkwardly long. He's got the perfect reach. He's got the perfect height, and he's got a nice glow to him. He's got a nice tan too. I'm gonna go with the ref's physique. I think he's got the best physique, man. That's physique that I aspire to. Because, you know, I'm not saying I'm built like him. Obviously, I would tower over this guy. But, you know, just because I tower over him doesn't mean he doesn't have the epitome of a male physique. I'm definitely not coping because I'm low-key built like that. But, no, I'm not built like that at all, dude. I'm actually a freak compared to that dude. But he's got a crazy physique. I think he's got the best physique. That's the epitome of a male physique. So, I don't know, guys. I think that's the new standard. If you don't look like that, you should definitely start coping about it. Chimaev versus a grown chimp, no rules, who wins? Grown chimp, of course. Grown chimp. I think Chimaev, if he fights confidently and if he can land a solid right hand on the chimp, I think Chimaev wins. It depends on if Chimaev lands a good right hand on it. Because, listen, we're not seeing Chimaev grapple the chimp and get the double leg and get a hold of the single leg and lift up on the leg and lift up on the crotch, get a high cross. He's not doing any of that shit. Chimps have stubby builds. Their legs are like a foot long. So, like, how is Khamzat going to get any leverage on it? Khamzat's going to have to outstrike it. He's going to have to knock it out. That's why I go with the chimp, because if the chimp can get past the first punch, then I think he wins. The issue is People overestimate chimps because if you punch a chimpanzee in the face, if you punch any animal that's not like a grizzly bear size or a lion size in the face, they're going to get rocked and they're going to get stunned and they're going to view you as something not to fuck with. It's like a lion that tries to mess with a hippo or a rhino. First of all, lions would never mess with a rhino, but it's like a lion trying to mess with a rhino. As soon as the rhino shows that it's going to be a bit of a tough out, or the water buffalo shows that it's going to be a bit of a hard kill, the lion just goes away, right? I think chimps would be very similar. If you punch a chimp square on the jaw as it leaps at you, if you smash it with a nice big meaty hook or like an Alex Pereira left hook, you know, I could just see, because chimps aren't necessarily going to leap at you. Everyone thinks they leap. Chimps are actually, they run on the ground, they scurry at you. Chimps will charge at you on all fours, and as soon as they get close, then they start raising their arms, they start opening their jaw, right? They kind of jump at you at the last second. If you can time that with a nice clean left hook, fade away left hook, and you land that shit flush, I think it gets stunned, and I think that it doesn't want to continue to fight you. Because what's it trying to prove? Is it going to try to have a tough fight? Chimps are stupid. They're stupid. Chimps have an ego, but they have an ego against other chimps. They have an ego against people when it comes to don't sit around my food because I'll bite your face off if you sit around my food. Or you come too close to my kid, I'll bite your face off. But they don't have an ego when it comes to mano-y-mano. People, humans, are the only ones that do mano-y-mano for sport, right? So chimps, they don't have heart is essentially what I'm saying. They have heart compared to other chimps. There's a different measuring stick for them. But against people, you crack it once with a good solid right. I think that, yeah, it's not going to get KO'd necessarily, but it's going to think twice, and it's probably going to be like, all right, I'm just going to go back to whatever I was doing before because all that I need to do in life is just to survive. Chimps are just on autopilot. It's just like a never-ending will that's just surviving, and that's all it cares about. So not literally. I mean, chimpanzees are pretty smart. They have pretty deep social bonds and interesting dynamics within their groups. But like, you get what I'm saying. They're kind of dumb compared to us. This is Lucas's best take. It is a good take. And I'm still not saying Khamzat beats a chimp. I'd pick a chimp to beat Khamzat Chimaev. Because people could talk about heart all they want. Listen, there are some people that would fight with having no face, but like, come on, dude. Once a chimpanzee rips your face off, you don't even know what the fuck to do at that point. That's overkill. All right, your adrenaline is going to be through the fucking roof. You're probably passing out if it takes your face or it takes your eye. How are you going to fight with no eyes? So that's possible. But some people act like chimpanzees can just rip your arm off. Like, no, they can't. They can dislocate your arm. They can pull it out of its socket. Chimpanzees cannot rip a person's arm off unless it's a baby. Okay, if it's like a baby that's obviously not developed, then fair enough. But not a regular person, not like a freaking grown man or an adolescent person. Bro's having a typical Joe Rogan. I mean, these conversations are kind of fun, though. I enjoy talking about chimp versus people.